Chapter 15. A shock for the toys. How the children and the others ran. They knew well that if they were caught, they would be put into the toy fort, and then the land of toys would move away from the faraway tree, and goodness knows how long they might have to stay there. So they ran at top speed. Frannie fell behind a little, and Joe took her hand to help her along. Panting and puffing, they raced down the streets of the land of toys, trying to remember where the hole was that led down through the cloud of the faraway tree. Joe remembered the way. He led them all to the hole, and there was the ladder, thank goodness. "Down you go," cried Joe to Silky, Beth and Frannie. "Hurry! Get into Moonface's room, quickly." Down the girls went. Then Rick, Moonface, Saucepan Man and Joe. Joe only just got down in time, though, because a big teddy bear had almost caught up with them. And as Joe went down, he reached out and tried to catch his shirt. Joe jerked himself away. His shirt tore, and he half slid, half climbed down the ladder to safety. Soon he was in Moonface's house with the others. But what was this? The toys did not stay up in their land. They poured down the ladder after the children and their friends. "They're coming in here," yelled Moonface. "Oh, why didn't we shut the door?" But it was too late for them to shut the door. Wooden soldiers, teddy bears and dolls poured into Moonface's funny round house, and Moonface, quick as a flash, pushed them all towards the middle of his room. The opening of the slippery slope was there, and one by one all the surprised toys fell into the hole and found themselves sliding wildly down the inside of the tree. As soon as Joe and the others saw what Moonface was doing, they did the same. "Down you go," said Joe to the teddy bear, giving him a good push, and down he went. "A push for you," yelled Rick to the rag doll. And down the slide went the doll. Soon the children could do no more pushing, because they all began to giggle. It was so funny to see the toys rushing in, then being pushed down the slide, shrieking and kicking. But after a while, no more toys came, and Moonface shut the door. He flung himself onto his curved bed and laughed till tears rolled down his cheeks. "What will the toys do?" asked Joe at last. "Climb back up the tree to the land of toys," said Moonface, drying his eyes. "We'll see them out of my window. They won't cause any more trouble." After about an hour, the toys began to come past Moonface's window, slowly, as they were tired. Not one of them tried to open the door and get into Moonface's house. They're afraid that if they don't get back to their land at once, it'll move away. "Let's sit here and watch them all and have a few Google buns and pop cakes." "I'm so sorry I've caused all this trouble," said Saucepan Man, "and I didn't bring anything back to eat either. You see, I really thought when I got to the land of toys that it was the land of goodies, because one of the first things I saw was that shop selling toffee. And the land of goodies, you can just take anything you like without paying for it. So of course I went straight into the shop and began to empty some toffees out of a box. That's why they put me into jail. It was dreadful. I was so glad to hear Joe singing. I knew at once that you would try to rescue me." This was a very long speech for Saucepan Man to make. He looked so unhappy and sorry that everyone forgave him for making such a silly mistake. "Cheer up, Saucepan Man," said Moonface. "The land of goodies will soon come along, and we'll all go and visit it, not just you, and we'll have the biggest feast we ever had." "Oh, but do you think we should?" said Joe. "Honestly, we seem to get into a fix every time and we go up the ladder." "I'll make sure that the land of goodies is in there," said Moonface. "Nothing can go wrong if we visit. Don't be afraid. I must say, Joe, you and Rick and Saucepan Man look very grand in your soldiers' uniforms. Are you always going to stay in them?" "Oh, I forgot. We haven't got our proper clothes," said Joe. Mother will be cross if we leave them in the land of toys. We left them under a bush near the fort. And I left my lovely kettles and saucepans in the fort, said Saucepan in a sad voice. I feel all funny without them. I don't like being a soldier. I want to be Saucepan Man. I'd like you to be our dear old Saucepan Man too, said Silky. It doesn't seem you somehow dress like that. But I don't see how we are going to get anything back. Surely none of us are going back to the land of toys again. Just then, 3 sailor dolls, last of all the toys, came climbing slowly up the tree. They were crying. Their sailor clothes were torn and soaking wet. Moonface opened his door. What's the matter? He asked. What's happened to you? Awful things, said the first sailor. We were climbing up the tree when we came to a window, and we all peeked in, and a very angry pixie flew at us and pushed us out of the branch. The faraway tree was growing thorns just there, and it tore our clothes to bits, and then a whole load of washing water came down, pouring down the tree on top of us and soaked us. So we feel dreadful. If only we could get some new clothes. Listen, said Joe suddenly. How would you like to have our soldiers' uniforms? They're quite new and very good. Ooh, said all the sailor toys together. We'd love that. Would you really give us those? We'll get into trouble if we go back to the land of toys like this. We'll give you them on one condition, sailor dolls, said Joe. You must find our own things in the land of toys and throw them down the ladder to us, and we'll tell you where they are. We can easily do that, promised the sailors. So Joe, Rick and Saucepan Man stripped off their lovely uniforms and gave them to the sailor dolls, who took all their torn blue clothes off and dressed themselves in the red trousers, tunics and helmets. They looked very nice. Now, you will find our clothes for us, won't you, said Joe. We are trusting you, you see. We're very trustworthy, said the dolls, and they ran up the ladder after Joe had told them exactly where to find everything. Joe, Rick and Saucepan sat in their underwear and shivered a little because the uniforms had been very warm. We'll look funny going home like this if those sailors don't keep their word, said Rick. As a matter of fact, I'd have liked to have kept my uniform. I like it much better than my clothes. Look, something's coming down the ladder, cried Moonface, and they all ran to see. How quick the sailor soldiers had been, or soldier dolls, as I suppose we could call them now. 2 sets of clothes tumbled down the ladder, and the children caught them. Then came a clatter and clanging of kettles and saucepans. Saucepan was delighted. He put on a pair of ragged trousers and a funny old coat that came down with the pans, and then Silky helped him to string his kettles and saucepans round him as usual. Now, you look like our dear old Saucepan Man again, said Silky. The boys dressed too. Then Joe looked at Moonface's clock. We must go, he said. Thanks for the popcakes and everything. Now, Saucepan, don't get into any more trouble for a while. Smile, said Saucepan, suddenly going deaf again. I am smiling. Look. That's a grin, not a smile, said Joe, as he saw Saucepan smiling from ear to ear. Now don't get into any more trouble. Bubble? Where's the bubble, said Saucepan, looking all around. I didn't see anyone blowing bubbles. The children grinned. Saucepan was always very funny when he heard things wrong. Come on, said Beth. Mother will be cross if we're home too late. Goodbye, Moonface. Goodbye, Silky. We'll see you again soon. Well, don't forget to come to the land of goodies with us, said Silky. That really will be fun. Nearly as much fun as the land of do as you please. We'll come, promised Beth. Don't go without us. Can I have a red cushion, Moonface? Thank you. One by one, the children slid swiftly down the slippery slip to the bottom of the tree. They shot out of the trapdoor, gave the red squirrel the cushions and set off home. I'm looking forward to our next adventure, said Rick. It makes my mouth water when I think of the land of goodies. Do you think you could draw me the slippery slip? I've been wondering what it looks like. I'm going to put some pictures with this so that you can have a look at some other children's drawings of the slippery slip. See if you can do a really good one. I may even set a competition for it, and then we'll have to see who the winner is. Okay, until tomorrow, I'll see you later. Bye.